All right, Daniel Alcivar, welcome to the Innovation Room podcast. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Matt, for the invite.
You bet, you bet. Um, so, we're doing a series here on the podcast about cryptocurrency and blockchain, mostly blockchain more than cryptocurrencies, but
Yeah.
that's also definitely part of the scope of some of the things we're talking about. Over the next few weeks, we're going to have several guests on, and Daniel, thank you for joining this one. I'm pretty excited to talk about RAND Labs and what you guys are doing in the Algorand ecosystem. So if you would, just tell me a bit about yourself and how long you've been involved in this space and how you got to RAND Labs.
Um, well, first of all, I have been almost a year. Well, this month I get a year at Grand Labs. I'm new to the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, but I have been, I've had quite a fast track in the ecosystem. Once I found out about Algorand, I fell in love with it. And it's amazing how the ecosystem has been growing since last year when I joined on April. What I can tell you about Brand Labs, we are one of the main partners of the Algorand Foundation and the Algorand Inc. We provide one of the main products of the ecosystem, which is the Algo Explorer, the blockchain explorer for Algorand. And we also provide one of the main wallets for the ecosystem, which is myalgo wallet. Okay.
Yep. Fantastic. So what you said you were excited about the Algorand chain and working in that space. What drew you to that particular blockchain and RAND Labs? What was it about Algorand that did that?
Well, first, a little bit of background. I was working for a social big data industry in a consultancy firm, and I was looking forward to join the ecosystem, the whole industry of blockchain and crypto. I looked about Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are the most popular, and then I started looking for innovation, like what is new since Bitcoin first appeared to the world. And one of the things that I looked for was this blockchain trilemma, as some call it. And usually most blockchains solve one or at least two of that three topics or these three problems that every blockchain has, which is basically decentralization, finality or speed, and also scalability. Okay. So one of the things that I saw with Algorand when I was researching about the new concepts like proof of stake, besides the proof of work, which is the one that Bitcoin uses, I learned about Algorand pure proof of stake, which sounds quite familiar to the proof of stake, but it's definitely a whole different level, where with this blockchain, you have completely randomized participants for the consensus mechanism. In this case, the Algorand mechanism functions in a way that every Algorand holder participates in a lottery where you can be part of the consensus for the next block that is going to be joining the blockchain.
So that's proof of stake, right? So
that's pure proof of stake.
Pure
it's a completely random consensus.
Right. As opposed to proof of work, which is what Bitcoin uses, right? Where it solves some sort of mathematical computation.
Yes, it's a mathematical algorithm. It's quite simple, but it's big enough for only a computer to be able to solve it in a decent amount of time, which is about 10 minutes.
Got it. Okay. So with pure proof of stake, is it all holders or all anyone who owns Algorand as a token, or do you have to opt in to be part of the consensus?
Well, first of all, the moment you have an algo, for example, let's say that you bought it in an exchange,
Okay.
I don't know, Binance or somewhere else, you can get those algos into the DeFi ecosystem in a wallet proper to Algorand, like Pera Algo or myalgo wallet. And then you can start participating in the consensus mechanism.
Interesting. Okay. That's right. So when you say the proper chain, so yeah, you can buy algo, and I've done it on Coinbase, for example.
Yeah,
You take dollars or USDC and buy algo. But at that point, you're really only holding it at the exchange. You're not part of the consensus. It's not until
exactly.
you transfer it to an algo native wallet like Para, myalgo, or is there a third one?
I think there is Algo Signer, which is
Algo
an
signer,
extension wallet.
right? At that point, okay, you're part of the consensus, and it's all holders of algo.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay, interesting. I had no idea about that. Um,
So
so
this is
mhm,
what is interesting about Algo. You can participate on this lottery besides being a pure proof of stake protocol by owning at least one algo. So
and-
that makes it quite decentralized. And it
sure.
also makes it quite secure because, first of all, the finality of the transactions are about 4 seconds.
Hmm.
And secondly, since the lottery randomizes the new contributors to this block, they actually jump from one another around the network, making it almost impossible to track for malicious intent.
Right, right. So it's very secure that way.
Yeah,
And yeah, the transaction cost is extremely low. It's what, seven?
actually, the current transactions fee 0.001 algo for each
Hmm.
transaction. That is the base transaction fee for the blockchain.
Right. And where does that, I'm just curious, where does that transaction fee go to? Where is that being deposited to, and how is that being governed? Do you know?
Well, first, the Algorand Foundation had this concept of staking, where
Hmm.
previously last year and previous years, you could just own your algos in a native wallet like myalgo, and you will start staking your algos, which was around 5.8% per year.
Hmm.
This concept has been deprecated and replaced by the new Algorand governance protocol, which is a more active approach for the community. So
Got it.
basically, before the Algorand Foundation paid you for owning algos, now they ask you to participate in the voting of the governance decisions for the foundation funds.
Got it. Got it. And Algorand Foundation has been around a couple of years now, correct?
Yeah, probably since 2017, I think.
Right. And do you know when
And
it was
Randlabs joined
in,
in 2019.
oh, 19. Okay, I was gonna ask you that. So the Algorand chain itself was launched around 17 or 18.
Yeah, approximately.
Okay. So let's talk a bit about your company. You're a product manager for Rand Labs,
Yes.
and which is the maker of it, myalgo and Algo Explorer, correct?
We have currently three main products.
Okay.
We have the Algo Explorer, the blockchain explorer. We have myalgo Wallet, which is evolving into a DeFi protocol or
Hmm.
DeFi integration protocol. And we also have the API, the Algo Explorer API, which is not as popular for general users, but is quite popular inside the ecosystem. It's one of the most used products.
Hmm. Right. I want to ask you about that too in a few minutes because I'm working on a project with that as
Great.
well. So tell me a bit about the three products. So if you could just explain that, in high level view, what those three do. what you know, their goal as a product is.
Sure. First, the myalgo wallet, which is,
Mhm.
as I told you, starting to evolve into something bigger, more DeFi focused. And we also have a subproduct for developers called myalgo Connect, which is an SDK that simplifies the user interface. So let's go first for myalgo wallet.
Okay.
For myalgo wallet, it's a native wallet, as you can say, for the Algorand ecosystem. And previously, as I said, you had staking rewards. Now it has been replaced, which is quite beneficial with the Algorand governance, for which we also have a UI, which is called myalgo governance. You can participate on the Algorand governance from our wallet. Okay. And the current APY, I don't know if you're already registered as a governor. It's currently 14% APY.
It was closed the last time I looked, but I think the next round is coming up.
It's about, so the Algorand governance protocol has a couple of weeks of register. It's now open until tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely going to jump on that. I looked at it about 2 weeks ago, and I thought I saw it wasn't open, but maybe I was mistaken.
No, it's open.
Okay.
It opened on the April 1st.
Oh, okay. On April 1st.
And it opens every 3 months.
Got it. Yeah. So I looked before April 1st. That's what it was. Okay. Okay. So myalgo wallet is, you can load that as a browser extent. You can actually go right to it in your browser, but you can save your credentials as part of your browser, correct?
So how does myalgo works? myalgo is a non-custodial browser wallet. It's not an extension wallet. So this allows you to benefit from two main aspects. The first one, you can have your wallet in multiple devices via your browser. And the second one is that everything is completely anonymous because all the information is encrypted via your password in your local browser storage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this provides another layer of security.
Right. So it's not an app per se. It's not gonna, you don't download it from the App Store like a Coinbase. You're gonna use it from a browser, and you're gonna create a mnemonic phrase to create the wallet, and then, which is like 25 words, right? Or is it 25,
yes.
25 randomized words?
For Algorand, 25 words.
The standard for Algorand, right? Got it. And then you can use that in multiple places.
Yes. Also, the private key that you create in myalgo, you can just import it in Algo or any other wallet in the ecosystem.
Correct. Yeah, which is an interesting point that a lot of people don't know, that once you create that mnemonic and the wallet, you can move that around and import it in other wallets.
Exactly. Another aspect to mention, especially for developers or people that just want to test the ecosystem, is that the same address in the Algorand ecosystem is valid for all its network, beta, testnet, and mainnet.
Okay. Right. So for developers, you can use it across those three networks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a bit about the API, because I have a question about that. So
everybody does.
I've used the indexer, but that's through Algo Explorer, I believe. But I think it's different than the API that you talked about as part of your product suite.
So there is the API from the Algorand Foundation, okay, which is one of the most common to use. But our API has gone beyond that, and even the Algorand Foundation recognizes this. So currently in the ecosystem, developers prefer to use our API.
Oh, fantastic! And what is it about your API that has gained such traction? or is
Well,
that secret
first of
sauce?
all, it's open, it's free, and you have great reliability. And one of the key aspects is that you can connect to the Algorand node, but you also benefit from the information that is already provided by Algo Explorer, such
Okay.
as statistics, uh, historical information of the blockchain. So it's great for new dApp products that want to join the ecosystem.
And that is different than the indexer, correct?
Exactly.
Yes. Are there
So
limitations on the indexer?
no, not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's I'd like to just shift gears a little bit, and we'll go back. I have a few other questions about what you guys are doing there, but let's talk about the current landscape. And I'm going to ask you your opinion on things being, being so in depth as you are in this space, and it's so new to a lot of people. There's a lot of misunderstandings that, and just mystery about how this stuff works and what happens. So when you talk about the current landscape with Algorand, there's NFT projects, there's DeFi projects, there's just so many different types of things coming online using the chain. If you would please just talk a bit about, like, what are some of the really strong use cases, or where do you see the biggest growth in usage for Algorand, and what types of solutions or products out there are being used in the world, other than but just buying and holding algo?
Yeah. So one of the main aspects of Algorand as a blockchain is that they never focused on getting out there as a cryptocurrency token, okay, like many of the other blockchains did. Algorand focused on making strategic alliances, okay? So you have colleges making the use of the network. You have governments such as the El Salvador government. They made Bitcoin legal tender, as you may know, but they actually implementing Algorand as their government infrastructure to migrate into the blockchain.
Interesting.
Also,
Okay.
the Marshall Islands, it's a small country per se, but it moves a lot of transactions in a financial environment.
I see. Okay. So governments are leveraging this as a pure financial backbone for
Exactly. Well, in the case of El Salvador, I think it's not just for financial. I think they are starting to migrate their whole digital infrastructure into a more secure blockchain environment, and they're implementing Algorand.
Okay. Wow. So what's your opinion on the NFT projects and the whole world of NFTs that have blossomed over the last year and a half, 2 years? I know Rand Gallery is a marketplace for NFTs using Algorand. Every other chain seems to have an NFT community that are building on it. What's your take on all that?
Well, first of all, the Algorand NFT ecosystem, or the community itself, is growing quite fast. I see how I see it, and this is my opinion. Most of the Ethereum community from NFTs started to look to new horizons, to blue oceans, where they can actually take more advantage of developing NFT ecosystems. Algorand is one of them. And you have great products such as Algoana and Algorillas. I think the last Algoana sold for like 600,000, maybe more. And yeah, it's amazing. And you now have this explosion of NFT galleries in the ecosystem, like you mentioned, Rent Gallery, AB2 Gallery, and so many others.
Mhm.
Even our products like the Algos product is preparing to make a more NFT community friendly environment inside the Explorer.
Nice. So do you see a longevity in this space of NFTs, or do you see, what do you see there?
I think there's a lot of growth for the NFT concept. Art is just one of them. Collectibles is also just one of them.
Right.
For example, there is a new project emerging, actually two of them. One of them is non-fungible domains. It's sort of like the ENS in Ethereum,
Okay.
Ethereum name service,
Got it.
where basically you have like mike.algo instead of a
Mhm.
public address to remember and copy.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Um, that I was thinking about this. I'm kind of a web 2 guy. I've been in the game since the early 90s in the internet.
nice.
Um, and one of the first things that struck me when I started using multiple wallets is that there's no way I'm going to remember that, like which one is for which wallet. And maybe I can remember the first four characters, like, oh, the F7 one, that's my Para wallet, but the M8 one, that's my. So what this does is it gives you a friendly name to attach to your wallet address.
Exactly.
And that, okay. And is that active?
It's currently for NF domains. You can check it, nf.domains.
Okay.
It's a project that is emerging. I think they just released the public testnet. They're
Okay.
about to launch to mainnet probably next month or within a couple
Okay.
of months.
That's cool. That's very cool. Thank you for that. We'll definitely look into that. Okay. So I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you. And
Okay.
just because, again, trying to uncover more of these terms and just to help people understand what these things mean. So I've got three different terms I'm just going to throw at you. If you can just please give me a brief definition that from a layperson point of view, not in this space, how could they understand this? DeFi.
Okay. So DeFi is basically, as the name implies it, decentralized finances. Okay. Which means in contrary of an exchange, you can have uh, all your assets, your portfolio, and your money basically inside one platform or server of that platform, which is basically, as I once heard in a Bitcoin conference, um, it's not your money if you don't have complete and total control over it. So this is what DeFi comes into hand, to have your own private keys and your portfolio in the power of your hand, basically.
Versus
So
a
you don't
bank.
versus depending on someone else managing your funds and saying that you have what you have.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Staking.
Staking is basically holding a token and getting an APY, an annual percentage yield, for basically everything that you can hold as a token and get a rewards for staking those tokens.
And then something more specific to your product, multi-sig.
Multisig, that's a nice question that you ask. myalgo is the only wallet in the Algorand ecosystem that supports multisig currently, and it's quite user-friendly. It
Okay.
allows you to have different cosigners to make a transaction, which adds up a new layer of security. So if you have big funds or you don't want certain funds to be trusted by one person, one holder, you can create a multi-sig account and have different cosigners. Or you can also do it as a personal account and have one key in your laptop, for example, and the other one in your mobile phone.
Interesting. Very powerful.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when you get to real estate and you have, multiple owners maybe. of a contract.
Exactly. And you can also combine multi-sig functionality from myalgo with your ledger device, which makes it completely secure.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's powerful stuff. I think it's we're on the brink of something really, really important here. And it's super interesting. Okay, so final two questions for you, and then I'll let you get back to your day. So I read in your site that you have a new version of myalgo coming out in May, version 3. Is that correct? Or that was, I think, on your.
We released recently myalgo 3.0.
Okay.
Oh, this is a new version because the previous one was focused on developer users, since
Okay.
the ecosystem was barely growing as DeFi. At the
Mhm.
moment, when this happened, the only DApp, decentralized app, was yielding finance. Now you have this explosion of the DeFi ecosystem in Algorand. You have more than 50 verified products and tokens projects.
Mhm.
And it's very interesting because most of them connect with myalgo. So one of the things that I see is the ecosystem is growing quite fast.
Mhm.
I have always said it, if there is a cataclysm in the crypto market at some point, I think there's only 5 blockchains that would survive that cataclysm. Algorand is among them,
Okay.
without a doubt.
Interesting. That's a great. I'm going to have to quote you on that one. So what's in store for Rand Labs and your products over the next year or two? What do you see on the roadmap that's significant that you can talk about?
That I can talk about. As you can see, our roadmaps are not public yet, but I can give you a little preview.
Okay.
For the myalgo side, as I said, we are scaling into a more DeFi focused platform, integrating several protocols and making it more of an interface of a portfolio, a place where you can see all your investments inside the Algorand DeFi ecosystem. We're also going to add NFTs visualization inside myalgo for a more interactive and more visual effect for the NFTs community.
Okay.
The same is happening for Algo Explorer. Okay, we're working on improving the NFT information page, as well as the collectibles and the creators page, and maybe, who knows, in a future, a marketplace inside the Algo Explorer.
Fantastic. Well, Daniel, that's very helpful and really exciting stuff for you and Rand Labs. That's going to wrap it up here for today. One more question for you, though. Are you or is Rand Labs involved in any Algorand conferences coming up or anything like that? Any live events?
Usually the main events are in Miami.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Miami community, you should go there. There is one, I don't know if it's currently going on, maybe not. But tomorrow there is an event in Paris hosted by Algorand.
Okay. Fantastic. Well,
before I should mention, there is also the Hack Algo, which is going on right now. It started on the 22nd of March. It's hosted by the main labs and projects in the ecosystem, and it's ongoing until April 22.
Okay, it's called Hack Algo.
Hack Algo. Yes.
Okay, so that's like a hackathon, I'm guessing.
Yes, we're encouraging people inside the ecosystem to know different companies like Rand Labs and other labs.
And where would you find that?
You can find it in Hack Algo, the website.
Okay, sounds great. Well, Daniel, thanks again for your time today and all the great information and joining me from Ecuador. What time is it there?
Right now it's 2:30.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're on almost the same time? It is the same
Yeah.
time.
For now. Usually I'm 1 hour before.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you're in the same time zone. Fantastic. Okay. Well, Daniel, thanks again. Appreciate you joining the Innovation Room. And I'll send all this all this to you in an email
Great.
with the links and everything afterwards.
Yeah.
And
If you need any URLs to check it out, I will gladly provide you some.
absolutely. We'll stay in touch. We'll have a follow-up maybe in 6 to 12 months.
Great. That's awesome.
All right, Daniel.
Thank you for the invite, Mike, and
All right.
goodbye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.